Falcons versus Texans Week 5 preview here on Falcons Today. Now, quick reminder, we're going to have a live watch party for this game, so be sure to tune in Sunday afternoon. But we've got a lot to go through on our preview because both squads enter 2-2, but from very different directions, right? The Texans started the year off 0-2 and have won 2 in a row. Meanwhile, Atlanta has dropped their last 2 games. So you've got oil and water mixing here. Are we going to see the Falcons snap their 2-game losing skid, or are we going to see the Texans win 3 in a row? We're going to find out. But predict the score for me down below in the comment section. Falcons versus Texans. I'm going to give you my score prediction at the end of the video, so stay around for that. But let me know down below who you think is going to win this game. I want to start things off by running through the injury report, beginning with Atlanta, where I am proud to say not a single Falcons player is on the injury report. Arthur Smith's entire team was fully participating in the latest practice on Thursday afternoon. So all signs are a go for even Cordero Patterson to hopefully play more than just special teams this upcoming week. Jeff Okudah is ready to roll, which he's played the last 2 games, but he hasn't quite looked like he's at 100% just yet. I expect him to be rocking and rolling this Sunday. The entire Falcons roster is healthy. Now, as for the Houston Texans, could not be more different. Dameon Pierce, their starting running back, he was limited the first day of practice. He was a full participant, though, on Thursday. Shaq Mason, one of their starting offensive linemen, and they have been beaten up front, by the way. He was a full participant. Meanwhile, Laremy Tunsil with a knee injury was limited. That's definitely something to watch for. Their center, Michael Deiter, was a full participant. Josh Jones, who's been sort of that like 6th man off the bench there, Jalen Mayfield, if you will. He's been limited with a hand injury. One of their 3 starting defensive tackles, Maliek Collins, he did not practice with an abdomen injury. Denzel Perryman, who missed the last few games with a hand injury, he was a full participant. And then Shaq Griffin, one of their corners, he was limited with a calf injury. So now that we got the injury reports out of the way, let's get into my 5 keys to victory for Atlanta, starting with get Drake London cooking. This Falcons team might not have entirely been rooted through the passing department, but I have seen one too many disrespectful things said about Atlanta's air raid, which it's not like they don't have it coming for them, but when the opposing team starts making jabs about Desmond Ridder and this passing offense, well, let me share first. Chancellor Johnson, who covers the Houston Texans, tweeted out Jimmy Ward, that's one of their starting DBs, on what he sees from the Falcons offense. They got wide receivers, if they use them. I don't think they're trying to pass the ball. The Texans safety also had high praises for Bijan Robinson. Listen, it's okay for us to make fun of Desmond Ridder, but the moment someone else makes fun of Desmond Ridder, it's hands on sight. So for Desmond Ridder, this is a big wake-up call. When the opposing DB says, you have wide receivers, but you don't like using them, I don't know what more bulletin board material you need to go out there, drop 300 yards on them, and 3 touchdowns. Again, we can make fun of Desmond Ridder. You cannot make fun of Desmond Ridder. That is how it's always worked in sports. We can make fun of our shitty team. You are never allowed to do that, though. Now, this also reminded me of when a Chiefs linebacker had a subtle jab at Zach Wilson before their Sunday Night Football matchup last week, when the question posed to him was, when you look on tape, what are you seeing from Zach Wilson and the Jets offense? And Chiefs Willie Gay said, a team that wants to run the ball. Zach Wilson would go on to have the best start of his NFL career against Kansas City, completing nearly 72% of his passes, which is about 20 points higher than his career average. 245 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. So if Zach Wilson can drop the best game of his performance after getting a subtle jab sent his way from the other locker room, hopefully Desmond Ridder can too. So now I want to see a Drake London touchdown from Desmond Ridder. Will Drake London score a touchdown? He's got 2 so far this season. Is number 3 coming? Let me know Y for yes or N for no. Second key to victory for the Falcons, feed Bijan Robinson over and over and over again. I'm never going to get tired of watching Bijan Robinson. So far this season, he's got 318 rushing yards. That's tied for 3rd in the NFL. 134 receiving yards. Just 1 receiving touchdown and no rushing touchdowns What a good game to get that donut off the board, right? Let Bijan find the end zone through the tackles 1 or 2 times. Listen, as long as Bijan Robinson is playing at a high level for the Falcons, he's going to be my key to victory every single week. And I know that's going to sound a bit lazy or a bit like a broken record, but I say this as a complete and utter simp for Bijan Robinson because I'm near sucking all the skin off of his Johnson at this point. The offense runs through Bijan. He's always going to be a key to victory for me. Now, Falcons Today is sponsored by Game Time. You shouldn't have to worry when you're buying tickets to your next big event. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. So if you're trying to catch an upcoming Falcons game or you want to see a Braves playoff game or a concert or any other sporting event in your area, Game Time is the place to visit first. Now, something that I love about Game Time is on their app, you can actually get a pretty good picture of what the view will be from your seat before you buy your ticket. So you don't show up to your event having, unfortunately, a big pole right in front of you blocking your vision. No, with Game Time, you've got an awesome picture of what you'll be seeing before you purchase your tickets. Game Time is the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. Buy tickets in seconds with 2 taps. It's the place to find last-minute seats. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code FalconsChat for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and use the code FalconsChat for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Third key to victory for the Falcons. I think we've got to respect C.J. Stroud. He's good. He is one of 3 starting quarterbacks who have not thrown an interception yet. And when I say respect C.J. Stroud, I mean Ryan Nielsen. Don't treat him like you treated Bryce Young week 1. Meaning, hey, we can probably get away with some sloppiness in the back end. Rookie quarterback's not going to pick up on that and make us pay. He's not Peyton Manning, but he's having a really good season so far. I mean, look at C.J. Stroud's stats the first 2 weeks compared to the next 2 weeks. Both stretches are really good, but he's got 6 touchdowns and no interceptions. His rating has gone up from a really good start already to 115 even over the last 2 games in which the Houston Texans have won over the Jacksonville Jaguars, a team Atlanta could not beat, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And we know Mike Tomlin is never an easy out, but the Texans beat up on Pittsburgh. So with that being said, Jesse Bates, who is tied for the league lead in interceptions with 3. This would be an excellent game for you to remind C.J. Stroud, listen, rookie, I've been in the NFL for a long time. I know how to read a quarterback. I know when you're trying to deceive DBs or when you are blatantly messaging where the football is going to go. We're going to put you in our pocket. And then there leaves A.J. Terrell, who I thought did a pretty good job against Calvin Ridley last week, minus 1 blown assignment, which I can't even fully put on A.J. Terrell because you and I don't know what the play call was. But this year, Terrell has been one of the better corners in the NFL, and he's going to have a decently tough assignment. Rookie wide receiver Tank Dell, he's been awesome so far for Houston. 16 grabs, 267 yards, and 2 touchdowns. This is not a Texans team that comes in with a lot of veterans at the offensive skill positions, right? C.J. Stroud, rookie. Dameon Pierce, second-year back. Tank Dell, rookie. Nico Collins, I think, is in his 3rd season out of Michigan now at this point. So there are not a lot of experienced playmakers for Houston, yet they have been producing. So this is not a, hey, look over game, start getting ready for the next week. The Texans are going to suck this year. No, this is a, put some respect on Houston because they have played very well so far this year. Now, if you had to pick an offensive rookie of the year for the NFL, who would you roll with? Bijan Robinson or C.J. Stroud? We know that quarterbacks always get the edge. They get the tiebreaker, and even if it's not a tie, they get the, extra yard, if they will. But right now, who do you think is going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year? Bijan or C.J. Stroud? 4th key to victory for the Falcons, win in the trenches. This needs to be a wake-up game for the offensive line because they are way too highly paid and way too big of investments to be playing like a bottom 10 offensive line in the NFL. So I'm calling out every single one of them, right? From Jake Matthews all the way across the board to Caleb McGarry. They have not all been bad, but they are all too good, and we have seen them play at a much better level to look like a middle-of-the-pack offensive line. No, they were an amazing offensive line last season. Let's get back there. I'm not settling for the 16th best offensive line. This team, this fan base, this city, they should want a top 5 offensive line because the investments are there. Matthews, Lindstrom, McGarry, all on good contracts. Bergeron, second-round pick. And then there's be nice to Drew Dahlman. He's been really good this year. So the point is, this offensive line, it just hasn't done for me for the first 4 weeks. But they have an opportunity against this Texans defensive line that doesn't have a bunch of household names. Like Will Anderson, rookie out of Alabama. He's had a pretty good start to his NFL career, but it's not like he's top 3 in defensive player or rookie defensive player of the year votings. Sheldon Rankins, he's a vet. Maliek Collins was someone who went over. He's on the injury report. Jonathan Greenard, he's been pretty solid for Houston, all things considered. But there are no Pro Bowl, All-Pro players lining up across from you. This Falcons offensive line, frankly, it should be embarrassed. They should be playing way better than they currently are. So when you're going up against a Houston Texans defensive line that doesn't have a Myles Garrett, a TJ Watt, a Micah Parsons, that's a good opportunity for you to kind of flip a switch, right? Kind of use that as a momentum boost going, let's get back on track, right? Let's remind Houston that we are one of the best offensive line units, and then let's build off of that. But you don't want to start building off of that by going up against Micah Parsons, Myles Garrett, or TJ Watt, right? Those are tough guys to kind of turn the offensive line around. But against Sheldon Rankins and a rookie and Jonathan Greenard, yeah, that's probably a good opportunity to get back on track, if you will. 5th and final key to victory. I did this one last time. I'm just trying here, guys. I'm just trying my best right now. Kyle Pitts, do something. This is not a real key to victory because Atlanta could win with or without Kyle Pitts, it looks like most weeks. But I just really want Kyle Pitts to succeed. And so far, Jonnu Smith has done a better job than Kyle Pitts. They get the same amount of targets. Jonnu Smith has 4 more receptions, more yards. Now, I have seen the things on Twitter about Kyle Pitts' catchability on passes, and sure, Desmond Ridder is not throwing up awesome balls to him every single time. But when you are picked 4th overall, a reason for that usually is you've got a pretty good catch radius, right? You can be a playmaker for your quarterback. We need to see that from this tight end room, and specifically Kyle Pitts. Again, I don't know what percentage of the blame you want to split from Kyle Pitts to Arthur Smith to Desmond Ridder to the offensive scheme in general. You can divvy it up however you want, but right now there's just too big of a piece of pie that belongs to just Kyle Pitts himself. We need to see something. I mean, the Falcons offense averages 29 pass attempts a game. That's 29th in the NFL. Yet their pass attempts to tight ends at 43 is 1st. So they are always throwing to tight ends despite rarely throwing the football. And still, Kyle Pitts is not producing enough. I want Pitts to work in Atlanta. But by the week that goes by, it's looking less and less likely. And I don't think we're going to see any movement going into the NFL trade deadline, but we could see some movement at the end of the season if we don't see an uptick for number 8. So hopefully against this Texans defense that is well coached under DeMeco Ryans, we can see Kyle Pitts start to get into a bit of a rhythm. So like I said at the beginning of the video, I was going to give you my score prediction, but one last opportunity for everyone watching to give me their score prediction. Falcons versus Texans. I'm going to go with Atlanta. 23-17. 6-point win. Good teams win. Great teams cover. So Atlanta checks both of those boxes. But ultimately, I think the Falcons improve to 3-2 after Sunday.